Hi, my name is Danielle. I am a graphic designer, illustrator, and designer, as well as the founder of Ziri and Dre.
Welcome to episode 11 of the Heritage and Hustle Project. Today, I'm honored to introduce Danielle Murrell Cox, the remarkable mind behind Ziri and Dre, as she shares her journey as a solopreneur and the importance of representation in the Black community. Danielle's warmth and resilience shine right through. Join me as we dive into her inspiring story and the transformation power of her creation. Welcome, everybody, Danielle.
This is Ziri, and this is Dre, and they make up the brand Ziri and Dre. So as much as you see the plushies here, it actually started with coloring books. So back in 2017 and 2018, I self-published my coloring books. The first one was Black Queens, and then I had Black Kings. And the faces in the coloring books are actually the same faces you see here, without any mouths. So I self-published the coloring books, and I had book signings, I had events at bookstores like Indigo, and from there, I was excited to see where I could take it. So I put it on social media. I got a lot of feedback, a lot of great feedback. I got a viral tweet that went pretty big, which is really exciting. And that eventually led me to be able to have a book with HarperCollins called My Hair. But the coloring books is really what started it all. So from the coloring books, I kind of thought that was it. That was all I was really ever thinking to do. Like, I have the experience as a designer to be able to illustrate and design the book. I had a printer here in Montreal print them. And then I was like, okay, cool, great. I'll go back to my graphic design stuff and I'll just call it a day. But because of the really great feedback I got online and everyone saying that I needed to push it more, it eventually turned into the plushies you see here. So Ziri is actually named from the community. My people on social media, the family, the Ziri and Dre family, they're the ones who suggested the names for the dolls. And so we had a whole bunch of options. They suggested Ziri, and then we had a whole bunch of options for him, and we suggested Dre, and that was how their names were chosen. And from there, I decided to make the brand name based off of them completely. So we have Ziri and Dre here, but we also have other dolls as well, but the brand itself is Ziri and Dre. So we have Ziri and Dre, but we also have other dolls. So this is Amara. She's one of my newest dolls. She does have vitiligo, and she's wearing her overall dress with her fro. She's a cutie. And then we have Kai. So Kai has cornrows. He has his braid up going on with his crew neck and his camo pants. So these names of the dolls were actually suggested from the community as well. So went back onto social media, asked people's name suggestions. I picked the ones I liked the most, and then I put some polls up on Instagram stories, and Amara and Kai were the winners. And so Amara is spelled Amara, and Kai is KY. So I wanted to make the dolls representative of us, your everyday person, your neighbor, your family friend, your cousin. I wanted you to look at these dolls and say like, oh, that's so-and-so, or oh, this reminds me of me as a kid, or hey, that's your little cousin this. And so doing that, you need to have people who look like you or look like the people you see walking down the street or your neighbors. So I wanted to make sure that I showcased more than just one skin type, more than just one skin color, more than just one hairstyle. So I wanted to make sure that I was giving the opportunity to see everyone. So we have a girl with vitiligo. We have Ziri here. She's more of a darker skin tone. We have Kai, who is a little bit darker than her. Dre is a little bit lighter. And for the dolls that are going to come out in the future, I also have a doll who has albinism. I have a doll that will eventually have different hairstyles like bantu knots and different skin tones. There's a little hijabi girl who is a little bit lighter than Ziri, but she is of a brown skin tone. So I wanted to make sure that the dolls look like your everyday person. They're not a superhero. I mean, they could be a superhero to you, but they're not your superheroes you see on TV. They're the everyday, and I want to celebrate us and the everyday person. So the dolls themselves, I would say, are a big love letter to younger me. So as a kid, I was made fun of for being darker skin tone. I'm a little darker than my mom. My dad is of a darker skin tone. My mom's a little lighter, and I came a little dark. So I was made fun of. I was said that I was potentially adopted. And I was made fun of for my nose, which is why I always make sure that the noses on the dolls is more of a wider look than a more narrow look, because I want you to embrace you as you are, wide nose or not. So because I was made fun of, I didn't realize it until after the brand came out, but because I was made fun of, I think this turned into something that I wish I had as a kid. I didn't have access to dolls that were soft and plushy and playful and cuddly that looked like me. They were, of course, the Barbie dolls who, yeah, you could play with. They're not very cuddly, not very comforting. But I wish I had dolls like this as a kid, that when I felt down about just looking like me or having my hair just be my hair and just the way it comes out of my head, I would have had something to comfort. My mom and my grandmother were always there for me and comforting, but you don't want to listen to your parents and your grandparents. You want to be able to talk to your own friend, right? Your own cuddly plush. And sometimes a teddy bear just isn't enough. So these dolls are, or this brand is a love letter to younger me. And it's a hope to be able to give that to someone else, whether you're a kid or you're an adult, to be able to have that person or that thing to be able to cuddle and hold on to and just tell your secrets to. And surprisingly enough, when I created the brand, I wasn't really thinking about other brands that were out there. I was more thinking of me, selfishly enough. Like, she's essentially me. Zuri is a representation of me. I used to wear the 2 pigtails a lot when I was younger. Her skin tone is very similar to mine, so she's really like an interpretation of me in a way. And I was really just like, I was being selfish, to be honest with you, and doing so turned into a gift and something that I could give to other people. But it really was just for me to be able to have, or wanting something that I could have had when I was younger. How do I keep my hustle as a solopreneur? It's hard. I'm not going to lie. The everyday is different, good or bad. How do I keep my hustle? Bills need to be paid, to be quite honest with you. That's what it comes down to. Bills need to be paid. If I could do whatever I wanted and didn't have to worry about money, I would still be doing what I'm doing, which is a great feeling. But the problem is, or maybe just the growing pains are, it's slow moving. It's not moving very fast. You don't just make $1 million tomorrow. It takes months, years, and I'm now about 4 almost 5 years into it, and there have been a lot of ups and downs. I've had help in the sense of like grants and stuff that do help me 100%, but they don't last forever. So what keeps my hustle is I have bills to pay, to be quite honest with you, because I would still do what I'm doing now if I didn't have bills to pay. But what keeps me pushing and what keeps me going and what keeps the hustle is the fact that, like, I need to eat. Food needs to be put into my body. I got bills to pay. And it just is what it is. I feel like I wouldn't have to hustle if that wasn't the case. I would still do what I'm doing and I would enjoy what I'm doing, but there wouldn't have to be the hustle mentality, the hustle aspect to it if I didn't have to pay bills. One of the greatest misconceptions of being the founder of a business that happens to sell plush dolls, one is that I make them myself. I don't. And then the next would be that I'm not doing this alone. I get a lot of people who actually message me, and like the way they have their messages worded, it seems like they're talking to a group or like multiple people, or maybe I have someone in customer service, and it's like, no, it's just me. When you're sending a message, it's me responding. If you get a message at 1 a.m., it's because I'm still up and I'm messaging you, and this is customer service. So it's tricky, it's hard. Being a solopreneur for a product-based business is hard. And I also know how it feels to be a solopreneur as a service-based business, because I do freelance as a designer. So I have kind of both sides of the coin. And I'd say another big misconception for being a solopreneur for a product-based business is people don't understand the overhead cost that goes into actually providing those products. When you have a product that you sell online or you sell anywhere, for the most part, if you're not making it yourself, and even if you are making it yourself, you have to create a lot. If you're having it manufactured, your minimum order quantities are in the hundreds per product. So if I have 3 dolls, that means I've had to order hundreds of each doll. I can't just order $10 here, $50 here, $20 there. So when I am able to launch a product and I offer pre-orders, or if I do have the item in stock, realize I've had to put a lot of time, effort, and money into that one product alone. And when you see I have 4 dolls, that means I have hundreds of dolls stored somewhere in a storage unit. And when you see me ordering more dolls or having new dolls, like that means hundreds of more dolls need to be ordered and stored somewhere. So there's a lot of misconceptions, but at the end of the day, like it's literally the best thing I've ever done. It's a happy accident that this whole brand came to be because it really wasn't the plan. Like the plan was really to focus on the design and maybe have my own agency one day, but then it turned into, oh, you're a self-published coloring book author? You're a business who sells plushies? Like, oh, like people are going to you for baby shower gifts? Like the first doll that someone's ever had came from you? Like it's crazy to think, but it's the happy accident that I'm very grateful for, but it's a lot of stuff. A lot of things in the back end that people don't realize, but I'm still grateful to be a part of it regardless. As someone who worked full time in the office back in the day and eventually went full time freelance, my biggest set of advice to someone who wants to either go into freelance, offer a service based business, or someone who wants to offer a product based business, take a step back for a second. Realize that it's not going to be easy, and your 9 to 5 is probably the least amount of work you'll ever do. Because working as someone who owns their own business, whether service based or not, you're working a lot more hours than 9 to 5. Your weekends will probably be consumed by your business, your brand, etc. So take a step back and figure out if you want to do that to begin with. And if you do, 100% do it. And if it doesn't work out, that's also very much okay. But just realize that there will be ups and downs. And before you start, if you can, have some kind of cushion. If you can, sometimes you can't, and it depends on your circumstances. But if you are able to have some type of cushion, try that. If you're able to maybe go from working full time at your 9 to 5 to working part time, and then the other part you're working on your business, try that as well. But I'm always here for the person who wants to do the thing, because I'm always going to be the person to tell you to do the thing. But take your step back and see if it makes sense. Realize that there is going to be ups and downs, but still do the thing. No matter what, do the thing. And if the thing doesn't work out, because I've had things that haven't worked out, that's very much okay. Take another step back, maybe go back to a 9 to 5, and then try another thing later. But no matter what, whether you take your step back, whether you do it, you don't do it, just do it. Make sure you do it, because you'll regret not doing it. And finding out that answer, whether it'll work out or not, will only happen if you do it.
As we come to the end of episode 11 of the Heritage and Hustle Project, I encourage you to discover the amazing world of Zuri and Dre, crafted by the talented Danielle Murrell Cox. Her story is truly remarkable, filled with passion, purpose, and a strong commitment to making a difference. Through her words and actions, Danielle has not only created beautiful dolls, but also started important conversations about representation and acceptance. Take a moment to visit Zuri and Dre's website and show your support for this fantastic venture. Thank you, Danielle, for sharing your inspiring story with us. You continue to inspire us all.